this is task 4.3 on the third diamond over here, and this one is looking at the input of text and then replacing some of the characters. You do have to swipe that little thing to see exactly what they've got in there, but again we have an input, so here that's what's going to be typed in, so that shouldn't appear in your code. They're going to put in something like that, which should say my keyboard is broken, because they've said up here that when a keyboard is broken, when she types an O she gets 3 hashes. I've shown over here you can put that and say, right, O is 3 hashes, E is 2 hashes, and A is 2% signs. So they're the things that you're going to be looking to replace. So if they put 2 hashes, that should be an E. 2%, well, that's an A, so that's what it should do there. 3 hashes is an O, 2 hashes is an E, so that's what it should say, my keyboard is broken. So if we have a look at the help, the first circle is the one I'm going to choose because that's got replacing parts of a string. Now this can look a bit messy here. Oh, we've got message, which isn't an input, it's just been set. We would normally use input. And then we've got print message.replace brackets L comma X. This all looks a bit messy, so we'll break it down and show you what it means bit by bit. So certain things that you've already seen are, for example, in here, print message. That would be straightforward. If message equals that, print message. So that's one part of the text that we've got in there. Another part then is this section here, which says replace brackets, and there's 2 things inside that separated by a comma. So this is saying replace L with X. That's what the function replace does. It replaces, finds the first thing and replaces it with the second thing, but it needs to know what it's searching in, and so when we put it all together we get print message dot replace. So print message we had before, we use what's called dot notation with replace, so it belongs to this message. So it says in message replace L with X. So where we've got hello world, it becomes hexo workst. Okay, so that's what message dot replace, it's whatever the variable is called dot replace. So that's the one we are going to use. If we were to change it from the whole word, say message replace an E with 2 and signs, 2 ampersand signs, and run that code, then in hello now becomes H double and sign low. So that's saying in this message hello world replace an E with 2 and signs. So you've kind of got this, but the other way around if you like, because you're going to be given that, you've got to decide what it is ultimately. To look at how that is done in multiple parts, because that's only replacing one thing, but in here if we go down to the bottom section here and have a look at this, I'm going to put an extra print in this section here and run it again just to show you exactly what it's doing in there. So if I stop that at that point, so I've got a message we start off with, we're doing a replace hello to goodbye. So message equaled hello world, we're getting rid of hello and putting in goodbye. And if I print that after that first one is done, you can see the message changes to goodbye world. So I've done one lot of changes. Then if I was to say, right, now make the message equal itself, message, but replace O's with X's. So I'm now on goodbye world, so I'm going to replace those 2 O's and that O with an X. Print the message again on the next line, and it's put, I can't even say what that says, but G-X by WX ruled. Okay, so that's what you're going to need for this particular task. 4.3 I think we're on. So if I was to go out and say, okay, well, I'm not asked to take whole words, I'm taking characters, so let's take a H and replace that with 3 hashes, and let's take the O and replace that with 2 @ signs. Put that in and run that code. And then when we're running that code there, again, you can see that the H in hello world is replaced with 3 hash signs. That's the first thing. Then we've done another thing after that, so the H is still there, but now we're replacing the O's with @ signs. So that's pretty much what you're being asked to do in your task, which is 4.3. So on there, all you're looking at is saying they're going to give you the opposite way around. They're going to give you 2 hashes, which makes an E. You need that as the input with the space, don't forget. That's going to be typed in, so you shouldn't see that in your code up here. That should only be done down here. You're going to need to have she meant to say space. That needs to be in your print line, because whatever they type in there, that's going to come in. And then this bit is the variable that you're going to store this in, replaced with whatever the characters are up here. Okay, so input, print, that has to be there, separated with either a comma or a plus, but you need a space if you're using a plus. And then the translated bit of the input from replace.